So, Hare Krishna, welcome all of you to this very wonderful event, the debate competition, which we are holding on this very auspicious day of Shri Krishna Janmashtami. Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamotsav ki.
Jai.
Yes. So, devotees' way of celebrating this festival is very unique. People outside they celebrate in a way which is very detrimental to their body and what to speak of their soul also. So they degrade bodily and spiritually both ways. But devotees, Vaishnavas, they celebrate any event with a very nice understanding. So whenever Srila Prabhupada, he used to celebrate Janmashtami, he taught us how to celebrate, immersing ourselves in Krishna Katha. In many, I think in all Janmashtami festivals, Prabhupada used to take reading of Krishna book. Especially there is recording of New Vrindavan, that Janmashtami, where Prabhupada was taking reading of Krishna book, chapter after chapter after chapter. Devotees are reading and Prabhupada is listening to it and teaching us that what it means to be absorbed in Krishna Katha. So, devotee's life is Shravanam Kirtanam. So, as Lord Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that verse, Mat Chitta Matagata Prana Bodhayanta Paraspara Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. So, devotee's pleasure is what? Is sharing this Krishna Katha, discussing about Krishna, helping others to remember Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada has taught us various ways to do this Krishna Katha. So Krishna Katha is not only simply just speaking a lecture, but Krishna Katha also involves preaching. And preaching means not only simply by a class, but also any activity which will inspire a person to come more close to Krishna, that is preaching. A pujari may dress the deity in a very nice way so that others, whoever looks upon the Lord, at once will lose their heart for the Lord. So that is preaching. He is assisting a soul to come close to Krishna. Similarly, a person who is cooking, so apparently he'll not be in the scene. He'll not be a person who is always seen around, because any of the social event where devotees come together, most of the time the cooks are there in the kitchen, staring hard and sweating and toiling for the pleasure of the lordships and the pleasure of the Vaishnavas. So, but that is also preaching, because whatever food, whatever prasadam is being made, that will inspire a person to come close to Krishna. He will appreciate this prasadam, and in this appreciation, he will come more close to Krishna. So, whatever aspect we can think of, we can connect it to preaching, we can connect it to Krishna Katha. And Srila Prabhupada taught us that even our tendency to argue can be utilized in Krishna's service. So Prabhupada would often train his disciples to debate. So he would take the role of, like they say, in English there is a term, devil's advocate. So he would sometimes, take the side of a impersonalist or an atheist, and he will say that, okay, why do you believe in God? And then the disciples, they used to defend the bhakti principle. So in that way, we learn how to defend our faith, right? So Srila Prabhupada taught us that how by engaging in meaningful debates, when we debate with a purpose to establish the supremacy of Lord Shri Krishna, then that debate also becomes sublime. And it helps us to go more deep into the subject matter. Otherwise, the philosophy which we have studied, it remains superficial. When somebody actually challenges our faith, then we tend to go more deep into what we know, and that will nourish our faith like anything. So, with this note, we would like to start our this debate, whose topic we have chosen is whether God is partial. Is God partial? Yes or no? And here we have two teams. With yes team, we have in the yes team we have Nitin and Jayesh Prabhu, and in the no team we have Harshad Prabhu and Arun Prabhu. So I wish all the best to both of the teams, and wish that this debate brings out many nice points which will nourish our faith. So yes, how we will go about this debate is very simple. We will like to invite the yes team first, and they will put their proposition, and then no team can respond to it, and then it will build up. We will maintain the decorum of letting the other person finish his say, and then we will say what we have to say. We will not interrupt in between, and we have say we'll try to wind it up in less than an hour at the max. So yes, are we ready? Okay, so yes, team has got a one member more. Their strength has increased with the inclusion of Dhanush Prabhu. So we welcome Dhanush Prabhu. Request him to switch on his camera. Dhanush Prabhu is from NIT Andhra Pradesh. Very bright student. Now has come to the 4th year. Yes, Dhanush Prabhu, please switch on the camera. And we have equally qualified other members of various choices. Nitin Prabhu, Jayesh Prabhu, Harshad Prabhu, Arun Prabhu, who are all leaders uh, in their own field, in their own way, helping devotees to get inspiration by their example. So we have lost the connection. Sampark tood gaya hai. Anyway, without further delay, let us go ahead. We invite the yes team to begin this debate. Over to you, Hare Krishna. Yes, Nitin Prabhu, you can begin. Is God partial? You say yes. What makes you say yes?
We see that Krishna said that Bhaktya Mama Bijana means somebody wants to realize the absolute truth or God, he has to depend on God only, because other process will not work. Indirectly, he says that means if you depend on me, only then you can attain success in the spiritual life. Other will like yogis and nannies, they will not attain, or they will fall down even if they try to try on this path of realizing the absolute truth.
Okay. May just are you done, Prabhuji? Can you hear my voice?
Yes. What happened?
Okay.
What happened, Prabhuji?
Uh, can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes, Proj.
Okay. Just as you said nicely that ye tamam prapadyante Krishna says, and then its meaning is like that Krishna says that if you worship me or if you come to me, then only you'll come back, then only you can attain perfection. But if we see from one point of view, then we can directly understand that Krishna is telling the truth. He is not hiding anything from us. So that is one of the good thing, that if he's telling us directly, if he says something else and then the truth is something else, then it will not be good, and it will become a hindrance, because we'll not the fact will not know the fact that what the exactly is, that how can we attain perfection. So if Krishna is telling that directly, that karma yogi and gyan yogi, they will not attain perfection, or they may fall down. But a bhakti yogi who will come to me and who will just work in pure devotion for me, then he will attain perfection. Then that is nice that we are knowing the fact and then we can work on it. So that is my argument. And yes, fine.
And also, I would like to say that even though he is telling boldly that you have to do devotional service, and that in that from by that process only you can achieve me, but we can see that that option is available for everyone. Not that he is specifically telling that these kind of people only can approach me. No, this opportunity is available to everyone, so that we cannot say that he is partial.
Pro, since you
Yeah.
have asked this
So it
question
is
that
from
is Pro, since you have asked this question that
yes.
this opportunity is available to everyone, and everyone can go ahead with this process, but we have to realize that what partiality actually means. It does not mean that partiality is not available to everybody. Like suppose if the prime minister of the country is helping some big shot, that doesn't mean that nobody can become a big shot and get favored by the prime minister of India. But it only means that if you're that person, then he is favoring you. Like if you know him, or if you have developed relation with him, then he will obviously favor you. So that is what our point is, that through this process of bhakti yoga, if you're able to go to that position and let Krishna have that relation with you, that he's ready to favor you, then that is partiality which is shown by Krishna. And I don't think in any matter it is wrong, because this partiality is not the same, although I compared it to what the materialists show, but it is not same. This partiality also provides pleasure to the devotees of the Lord, but this is the partiality that we are hankering for and we practice spirituality for. Because if this partiality was not there, and if we were impartial, then we would be like impersonalists. As Srila Prabhupada in the purport to Bhagavad Gita 9.29, he says that if there is no reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord, and then it will be like impersonal relation, then we will not hanker to serve Lord. We will just like impersonalists, we will try to merge into him. But we are personalists, and we believe in this, that if we try and practice bhakti, then we'll be favored by the Lord.
Just
Nice.
as
Nice. So, no team, you can respond to this.
okay, actually, yes, true. As you told, as you just tried to told the definition of impartiality. So in fifth canto, first chapter 29th verse, where Narad Muni is telling to Vyasdev, is telling Vyasdev that when he was a child, then the Vedantis to whom he was serving, then they especially favored causeless mercy on him, on Narad the boy, who was very small at that time. And then in the second line of the translation of that verse, it is given that the Narad Muni tells to Vyasdev that what was his qualification, that even though he was a boy, he had no interest in playing. He was not doing any kind of mischievous activities, and he was very sober. So that qualification inspired those Vedantis to favor him, and then they showered causeless mercy on Narada boy. So yeah, you said nice that for Krishna, when sees that person is a devotee, then only he favors. Okay, that's good. But that Krishna directly tells that this is the qualification, because if you want, suppose, just I'm giving an example, suppose you want to get merit in your result in 10th board. So just for an example I'm saying, so you will have to score more than, if 90 degree is the criteria, then you'll have to score more than 90 degree for admission in a good engineering college. What is the qualification which is mentioned, that only you will have to bring. Then only you can get admission in that college. So similarly, to go back home, back to God, or to achieve prema, what is the qualification? That only Krishna is telling. So if you develop that qualification, then Krishna will give that. Otherwise, and he is not he is not jeopardizing anyone, or he is not what we say, inhibiting anyone to follow that process. He is open to the process is open to anyone. Everyone can do it. But those who will take it, they will get the benefit of that process. So it is not impartiality, because the process is open to anyone. Just as we saw in the example of Vedantis, if any boy was there in the place of Narada boy, then he must have got that causeless mercy by the Vedantis. But here was a Narada boy who had that qualification, therefore he got that mercy from Vedantis. So it is not a partiality. It is that if you develop a qualification, then you'll get that thing. It is like that. Yeah.
Also, I would like to include in that we can see Krishna is not telling only one option, that this is the, he have given different options also, that like if you follow that karma yoga, you will attain this. If you follow this jnana yoga, you will attain this. And if you follow this bhakti yoga, you will attain this. So he have not only kept only one option and giving that is also highest. So we can see that it's not partiality. And main point is that he's not interrupting our free will. He's giving us opportunity to choose also. It's not partiality according to me.
And Srila Prabhupada also says, whatever price you will pay, that only you will get. You cannot get anything more than what you pay for. So you'll have to pay for it. Then you will get. But there is no partiality that you cannot do or he can only do. Like that. Okay, fine.
Okay, so the point now put by the no team is, yes, God is seem to be merciful, but one cannot get mercy cheaply. There are various qualifications required. As he said, Narad Muni, as a Narada boy, he was exhibiting certain qualities, and he did some sacrifice. He did some. He applied himself to the teachings, and thus he got the mercy. And anybody like this can get mercy. So God is not partial as such, but it requires sincerity on the practitioner. And if he shows sincerity, God will definitely show his mercy. So that way he is not partial. And Harshad Prabhu said that there are so many paths available. It's not that only Bhakti Yoga is the only way. One can achieve success by following any other path. So these 2 points, how would you refute or handle? Yes, team. We are not refuting, by the way. See, 1 second. We are not refuting.
Yes.
We complement the point, and we add one more facet to our point of view. That should be our mode of contributing. Yeah.
Arun, when you were mentioning that point about Narad Muni getting the causeless mercy, first we have to realize that if the mercy was causeless, then there is no amount of sincerity or any qualification which is required in order to obtain the causeless mercy. Like if we think about our Krishna consciousness, how we came to Krishna consciousness, you will obviously come to the conclusion that what qualifications we had, it's not even 1% of what Narad Muni had. But we came to Krishna consciousness. It was a causeless mercy which was shown by the devotees of the Lord. And why the devotees are able to bestow that causeless mercy is also one of the reasons that God shows impartiality to God shows partiality towards those devotees, that they are allowed to bring such people like Jagai Mother. They were liberated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, because they did not have any qualification, but still they got causeless mercy, because this mercy is supposed to be causeless. And who is enjoying this opportunity of bestowing causeless mercy? It is the devotees of the Lord, which clearly shows that there is partiality. Not everybody can show that causeless mercy on anyone and make him a proper devotee. That is not possible. Only those devotees of the Lord, they are able to bestow this causeless mercy, and they are able to pass it on. Nitin, would you like to add something?
Yes, Roji. Just like even we want to get the causeless mercy of the Lord, still it's not easy, because we see that Nal Kuber and Mani Guru, we see they got the mercy of the Lord, and later on they became that tree and they got liberated. But to get favor by the Lord and attain the Lord, uh, to get mercy means they also suffered for that, getting that mercy of the Lord for so many days, and they become trees like that.
Yeah.
So the point brought out by Jayesh Bro is excellent. That the when we say causeless, then it is special. You don't qualify. You can never qualify yourself enough to purchase a mercy, or get a deal done. Okay, now you get the mercy. It is always a uh, uh, causeless bestowal of that grace. So, uh, and if we remove that part, then we have no hope. If we don't expect causeless mercy from the Lord, then we have no hope. So that shows that yes, God does bestow special favor, special mercy to the devotee, and which seems to make him partial.
Yeah, as Prabhuji told that there was a word used, causeless, by Srila Prabhupada in translation. So as far as we see the dictionary meaning of causeless, then yeah, we understand that there is no cause. But actually, that is the humility of the devotee, that he thinks that I did nothing and I had no qualification to just to get the mercy of the Lord or the mercy of the devotees of the Lord. So just I would like to add here or say simply that even though there is written that it was causeless mercy, and Narad Muni is feeling like it was causeless mercy, that he had no qualification. But we also read in the same section that he was serving continuously with with his mother, and he was taking remnants of those Vedantis. So by that his heart was becoming pure and pure, and that was just increasing his qualification. And also we Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Neha Bhikmana Shasti Pratyavayo na Vidyate Swapam Prasapit Dharmasya Trayato Mato Vayat. That is, whatever endeavor we do in devotional service or in spiritual life, that never diminishes. That adds up from lifetime to lifetime. And then Manusha Nam Sahashetu Kashidati Siddhaye. That after accumulating, after doing this such pious work, thousands of years, thousands of life of birth, at that then we get the credit, and then we get mercy of devotees, then we become qualified to become to get the mercy of the devotees. And as far as our student life is concerned, yeah, very true, that if I consider myself, then surely I also think that I didn't have any kind of qualification. But yeah, then when I came to ISKCON and then we read Bhagavad Gita, then we see that we must have done something from thousands of lifetimes. Then we have become qualified to get the mercy of the devotees of the Lord. Then only devotees could catch him from our college, from material world, and they are trying to bring us to the spiritual realm of this material world, like that. And also one point I would like to add, that if we the reason that we should think, or of course it is a causeless mercy, but if we don't think as a causeless mercy, then we may get proud that, oh, I was qualified, that means I was so big, I had become so pure that just I was qualified, I was deserving this mercy of the devotees. But then we may become proud, and our spiritual life will do on at that moment only. So we need to think, we must think that it was causeless mercy, and surely it was causeless mercy. Yeah, it is very true.
Archad, bro, you want to say something? So the point brought out by Arun bro was nice, great. That it is causeless mercy certainly, but it actually devotee, he it's not that he does not make any endeavor. He makes his endeavor, but then he, out of his humility, he feels that okay, I am nothing. I simply depend on the mercy of the Lord. Just like Srila Prabhupada, he is going on the Jaladuta and saying that, I have no strength. You please make my words suitable for their understanding. And bhakti nahi, veda nahi, name kubadaru. I have neither bhakti nor knowledge. Still, I have a big name. One second. एक charger है? इधर पे नामे kubadaru. So, although Prabhupada was such a genius, just a second. How much hard work he had uh, put in preaching for decades after decades after decades. He had struggled so much and not seeing that how many times he has failed. Not failed actually, but not got such a big response. But then still he is having such a determination. He is writing books and he is endeavoring so much. So that nobody can, no ordinary person can do like this. So he certainly has done so much, and that's why he is being chosen to accomplish this great mission. But then, out of humility, a devotee's mentality is such that he feels that I am all. That is the way the Vaishnava thinks. So, in that way, the causeless mercy will come upon a person only if he qualifies himself. So, and anybody can do that, and thus anybody can get mercy of the Lord, and thus there is no such partiality on the side of the Lord as such. Yes, Nitin Prabhu and Jayesh Prabhu.
True. Like I would like to thank Arun Prabhu because ultimately his arguments are going in line with mine, and he's only supporting what I am saying. I'm also saying that yes, Lord, Lord supports those, like as you mentioned also, that Srila Prabhupada had put in so much efforts, after which he got causeless mercy, and because of that he was able to continue this spreading this Krishna consciousness movement. That is what is our point is, that if you become a devotee of the Lord, then Krishna is there to support you. He's there, he's partial for you. Like if I give an example, I was reading in third canto when Kumaras went to Vaikuntha, and they were stopped by Jay and Vijay outside the gate of Vaikuntha. Then Lord Vishnu came out himself and he said that if my hand is hostile to devotees, then I would rather cut my hand than allow it to be hostile to the devotees. It clearly shows that who would be such a person that he is ready to cut his own hand for the protection of someone he cares about. I'm not saying it is available to everyone, because not everybody is surrendered to Krishna. Although that path is available, but it is not followed by everyone. Like right from the start of the argument, I was saying that that is available for everybody, but that does not mean that it is available everybody is having it. That partiality is shown by the Lord to the devotees. Like there are so many people who die of like falling from the mountain, but when Prahlad Maharaj was thrown off a mountain, he was saved. And similarly, there are so many examples, like when Krishna protected his devotees, like in the case of when Lord Gajendra was being tormented by the crocodile. And there's innumerable examples, like Draupadi Mata, when she prayed for Krishna and Krishna came and saved her. It does not mean that these things don't happen on a regular basis. They happen on a regular basis. But since these people favored by the Lord, they were being shown the partiality by the Lord. That is why they were able, like that is why Krishna came and saved them. There can be no other reason. That is what my point is. Like partiality is being shown. If it was not being shown, then we would not be here practicing Krishna consciousness. Like if everybody was allowed, like we don't pray to a god who is stone and who is like a computer, and whatever code you will put in, and there will be a certain algorithm for which the answers will be, like there is a certain algorithm for which the answers will come out. It is not like Krishna is a person and he reciprocates accordingly. So if you say like being and if I question the very source of it, if there is such a thing called partiality in this world, then Krishna has to be source of it, because in Prabhupada says that and there are innumerable sources of it, that Krishna is the source of everything, and everything good or bad comes out of Krishna. So if there is something called partiality in this world, if there is something called favoritism in this world, then Krishna has to be the ultimate source of it, and he has to be a master at it. And although it provides pleasure to everyone, but he has to be the source of it.
So Jayesh Prabhu has brought another very important point, that Krishna has to be the source of the partiality.
Yeah.
And this is true, but we see, as said by Jayesh Prabhu in his examples, like Gajendra. So Gajendra was an animal, and the example of Gajendra shows that bhakti is not limited to anybody, like or it's not a reserved thing, as Krishna also says, Striya Vaishya Tatha Shudra Depi Yanti Param Gati. So Bhagavatam takes it to a level another. Even an animal, person in animal species, he can also get the mercy of the Lord. What is needed is devotion. So, and one who is ready to bend. Previously, he was not ready to bend. Gajendra was not ready to bend. He was very proud. But one who chooses to bend, then no matter who he is, he can get the mercy of the Lord. So, it depends on us that how we bend ourselves to the will of the Lord, understand our insignificance, and then Lord is there. So it's not a prerogative of some person, who is 10% devoted to the Lord only. So the Lord shows His mercy to everybody, as told by you also that Kumaras were shown such favor. Actually, in that context, the Lord says to the Kumaras that this Swapumsam, these people, this my people, Swapumsam, the Lord is telling, I am actually responsible of their misbehavior because I am their master. So please forgive them, and please give them punishment which is appropriate. So here we can see Kumaras were wondering whether Lord is, for us or indirectly taunting us or, telling against us. So they were not knowing how to respond. So they were in a mystery. Okay, what the Lord is speaking all about, we are just an outsider barging into the Vaikuntha, and here are His own men, and the Lord is coming out for their protection, The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Vaikuntha Nath, is coming out to protect who? His doorkeepers. And then he is having such an argument, not argument, he's specifying and telling, I will lop off my hands if it is hostile to the Brahmanas. So they were thinking, who are we to get such a favor of the Lord, So, the Lord showed here that not only Jai Vijay are His dear, they are certainly His dear. He is telling Swapumsam. But He is so Bhaktavatsala, His grace is so, the fold of it is so wide that, the Kumaras who were impersonalists, they also became devotees, seeing Ittam Bhuta Guno Hari, as said in Bhagavatam, that the greatness of the Lord is so much that devotees can't resist themselves but to love Him. So they were shocked, they were inspired by the behavior of the Lord and by the non-partial behavior of the Lord, and they surrendered, they became devotees. So some of the point from your example I tried to put. Arun Prabhu has something to say. Harshad Prabhu, something to say.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Just as you said, from the last few points, our discussion is going on that God is favoring devotees, and although the option is open to all, but the God is still favoring only devotees. Why is He not favoring non-devotees? So, just I would like to. There are many examples, of course, but just I would like to quote example of Putna. Putna was not means directly. It is not mentioned that in that lifetime Putna was not a devotee, and when she came to kill Lord Krishna when he was child. So at that time, she had not a tinge of mentality that, oh, I'm going to Krishna and just he is supreme personality of Godhead. She had mentality of killing him. But because then just I read the purport of Srila Prabhupada, and there Prabhupada writes that and because Krishna touched her breast from his mouth, therefore just he treated her as mother, Dhatri, and then he gave her the position of Dhatri in the spiritual world. So although we see that she was not a devotee, and but Krishna glorified then Krishna gave her liberation, and then now today also we glorify him, and we see that Sukdev Goswami, who has recited whole Srimad Bhagavatam, earlier he was impersonalist, and by hearing this shloka, Aho Bhakyam Istana Kalakutam, after hearing this shloka, he converted into devotee. So we see that although Putana, and there comes many examples, Tirnavrat and Aghasur and so many, that they were not the devotees of the Lord, but they were still favored by the Lord, because Lord saw that okay, they are doing service to me, or they have come to Gokul like that. So this is one point, and another is like as we see, yeah, you are very true that Srila Prabhupada also writes that whatever qualities there are present in this material world, that is coming directly from Krishna. That is very true. But just as far as I remember that last year I have heard in lecture of Chaitanya Charan Prabhu probably that see, lust is also a quality of spiritual world, because lust is there in the material world. It must have come from spiritual world, and there Krishna loves Radharani, and there he loves everyone in the Vrindavan, in the Gokul village. But there we see that the quality of love is pure love. But when it comes in the material world, love falls into the material world, it becomes tainted with different mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. So similar, and then it doesn't become it does not remain pure love. And when a materialist compare that love, oh, that has come from spiritual world. So okay, this is nice. No, that is pure love. We cannot understand that till the point of time we are in this material world, we have not become pure. So for understanding that, we'll have to become pure, and that we will become by following morning program and reading Srila Prabhupada books and all. So similarly, this, as you were saying, that partiality, this partiality, this quality, there is existence in spiritual world, of course. But that partiality, as we saw that that partiality, Krishna does not do partiality between the options. He gives option to everyone, and then if one takes it, then he will become pure, and then Krishna will show, or Krishna will support him, like that. As we see partiality in material world, when a person do partiality, just like in earlier example, you gave example of Modi, Mr. Modi, our prime minister, that if he knows someone, then he will do partiality, and he will give more opportunity to that person. So that is real partiality, that he is doing partiality, but he is not giving opportunity to everyone. You come there, and then I will do. Or we have seen just before few days, just I would like to give a material example, that in there is a project between Ahmedabad to Delhi. It is the metro project, no, Ahmedabad to Mumbai, like that. So there is a metro project, and just I was reading news, reading not hearing news. Just I came to know that there were almost 20 people, or 20 contractors had applied for that project, but then there was some kind of politics, and then the meeting only did not happen, and it was assigned to a Gujarati contractor. There we see that it was partiality. But if we give an example of partiality that has existence in spiritual world, so if I give example of teacher, So if there is a teacher, he gives knowledge to everyone, he distributes knowledge to everyone. But there are some students who catch it and who does hard work when they go back to home. And when the teacher sees that, oh, that this guy is or this student is doing hard work, he is doing some hard work in his home or doing some practice in his home, then he gives more example or little tough example to that student. He is open to everyone, that he will give example to anyone, tough example or more practice, he will do more practice to give more practice to anyone. But then he sees that who is trying to practice more. Free will, Krishna gives us free will that we can choose anything. And then if Krishna sees that, oh, he has intelligence and he is choosing this, then he shows that he shows more what you say more options that how can we develop in bhakti. And then we can attain that perfection which we want, which everyone want, or which we need in our life to become happy, for which everyone is running but no one is getting. Okay.
I would like to,
Yes, Harshad Prabhu.
I would like to add something in Arun Prabhu's point, and regarding to Jayesh Prabhu's some that actually we see that he said that he's favoring to only devotees, but we can see that just like means actually we can see that everyone in this material world, from small ant to elephant, or he may be human, or everyone, every living entity, Krishna is providing their food, clothing, shelter. So we can see that everyone is getting their food. So we can see that Krishna is not impartial. And also in our life also we can see that in case of in this case of pandemic also, if someone is being corona positive, our neighborhood or any other person, we will not be very worried. But if if this happens in our family, then we will be very worried or very anxious. So it's natural that to give protect care who is in our shelter. So it's natural, because and if Krishna does that, means if Krishna gives this path for everyone, and if we forcefully do that, then we will say that Krishna is doing forcefully. So this is the another point also. And also there are many options, just like we can see that for going to Mumbai or Mathura, there are many options, like one can go by metro, or one can go by express, and there is also option of passenger. But if someone wants to drink some or something, drink some, or if someone wants to take snacks, then there is option of passenger. So we cannot say that he is partial, because anyway every living entity is given opportunity, that after only time is separating to a living entity to coming to Krishna. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that everyone is actually leading on the same path which is leading to me, but they are approaching in different ways, so that they are being late, or someone is coming earlier, or someone is coming later. So that is one. In case of Prahlad Maharaj or Gajendra, that Jayesh Prabhuji said that there are many people who are dying, dying, that just like Prahlad Maharaj was saved when he was thrown from the hill, but there are many people who are similar way, they are dying, right? But in that case, we can see that just like I was reading in some purport that what is the difference between devotee and non-devotee? We are continuously saying that devotee is favored, devotee is favored, but actually problem is with the mentality of that person. That mentality makes him devotee and non-devotee. Suppose in some purport, Acharya was giving example that if someone is non-devotee, or if he at all pious, in distress condition, he will approach God by praying, and if God fulfills, then he against means becomes means he ignores the God. But that doesn't mean that the opportunity is available, is not available. In at that time also Krishna is ready to favor him. That favor is open for all, but that time he is ignoring God. But devotees of the Lord, they are always without doing any mercantile business, they are always ready to serve the Lord, and they always ready to take shelter of the Lord. That's why they are getting that favor. And at this another condition, non-devotee, they are ignoring the God, so they are not getting that favor, even though favor is available that time. That was the point.
So, Jayesh Prabhu, Nitin Prabhu, the point by Harshad Prabhu is quite in favor to you, I think, because it depends on a person who is a devotee. He will be able to gain the favor of the Lord. Yeah. So, what do you have to say? And yeah, Arun Prabhu also emphasized the points with various examples that it's upon us whether to encash the opportunity and to become a devotee to get the favor. So yes, please. Yeah. Jai Shri Nitin.
Nitin Prabhu, would you like to answer?
Hare Krishna. Means
Just a
we
minute.
see that
I got something to add, which will help you
yes.
to make your point.
Yes.
See, when we say that Krishna is uh, impartial, yeah, he says in Bhagavad Gita that he gives equal opportunity to all. But then he shows his partiality uh, at occasions in Bhagavad Gita very distinctly. We see that he is telling that my devotee who worships me will come to me. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrini yanti pratyavata bhutene bhuteja yanti bhutani yanti mad yajinapi ma. So he is clearly differentiating. Those who are for the Devi Devatas, they will go to their planet. Those who are worshipping the ghost, they will go to that planet. Those who are worshipping me will come to me. And he's telling clearly that those who are worshipping the Devatas, they are Alpa Medasa. Those who are impersonalists, they are Abuddhaya. So he is clearly discriminating. Yes, here is my party, and they are the others. And they will go to others. My men will come to me. So he very clearly says this point. And he says, na, ke तान अहम दुष्टा क्रूरन संसारेषु नराधमान क्षिपाम्य अजस्रम अशुभम आसुरेष्वेव योनिषु. He says that one who is having that atheistic temperament, one who wants to defy me, birth after birth I cast him into demonic wombs so that never he gets a chance, never he will be able to overcome the mode of passion and ignorance. So that is very clear that God is person and he has that mood to favor the favorable and neglect the unfavorable. So we see very clear discrimination here done by the Lord. So yes, now Nitin and Jayesh can add to this. You're having some point. I just gave you some more clues to discuss upon. You may put your points as well.
Yes, Pruji. Like Arun Bro started with the example of Putana. She went to Vrindavan, but we have to realize that the shloka which is applicable on Putana, it is Yat Katvana Nivartante Tadhama Karmama. So although she is going to Vrindavan with a different mood, but she went to Vrindavan, so she has to be she has to be an associate of the Lord in order to get that mercy. So I'll not talk about it. Although in one of your arguments, Pruji mentioned that spiritual partiality is not similar to material partiality, but that is what we are saying. We are saying that the partiality which is shown by Krishna is not the one which is shown in this world. And if you want to if you want me to answer in that manner, then I can give you an analogy to understand it better. Like
Your voice.
suppose yeah, true, it is now audible. Is it
Yeah, now it is clear now.
Harish?
Yes, now it is clear.
True. I was giving this analogy. Like suppose if we were to apply a civil example like the one which you gave, that a contract was open and we were to apply for getting that contract. Now suppose for that contract I apply directly, and there is another person who is applying through Srila Prabhupada, and that the contract is to go back home, back to Godhead. So when I'm applying directly, Krishna will not even consider me. But that same person who is going through Srila Prabhupada, going through devotees of the Lord and trying to go back home, back to Godhead, although the qualification does not matter to that extent, but if he is ready, his file will be considered just because he's coming through a devotee. If that is not partiality, then what is? Although it is not similar to what Narendra Modi shows or what any person in this material world shows, but it is partiality that is shown to the devotees, that if you are same file which is being put forward by, the opportunity is not available to all. If you want to go to that extent, then it is not available to all, because that if the opportunity was available to all, then we would be able to apply to going back home, back to Godhead directly. But we are not able to do that. We have to go, because our sampradaya is like that. Then we will not be needing sampradaya. That is why I'm saying that if you try to prove Krishna impartial, then it is like Mayavadis and impersonalists will be nodding to that argument, because that is what they believe in. They don't believe in going through the Guru Sampradaya, because like once Srila Prabhupada gave this example, that while he was walking, there was a big like collection of water was there, and he was trying to cross that water collection, like it was like a dug well or something. So when he crossed, he took a hand of a devotee and he crossed to the other side. As soon as he crossed, he shook off the hand of the devotee, and he started looking at him angrily. So that devotee was at I don't remember who it was, but he was very shocked that why Srila Prabhupada did so. So Srila Prabhupada explained that this is what Mayavadis do. As soon as they cross over the this material ocean, they forget that who has helped them. They don't care about who their guru was. They would be ready to kill their guru also. So similarly, in our sampradaya, we because these devotees are being shown partiality by the God, they are being favored by the God. We have to pray for their mercy. But if Krishna was impartial, if Krishna was giving equal opportunities to everyone, then we would not be needing their mercy. We could have directly gone and approach, try to go back home, back to God. It clearly shows. Even in this song, you must have heard, "Ei Bara Karuna Karo." There is one statement comes, if somebody commits a mistake or sin, then it is purified by the taking the name of the Lord. But if somebody commits a crime towards a Vaishnava, then that is not forgiven by the Lord. Then there is no tran. Then you cannot get out of it. So if this is also partiality, because he cares about his devotees. So it is not like he cares about everyone. He cares. He doesn't. If you say something bad to another person who is randomly walking, if you say that argument that everybody is walking towards Krishna, and ultimately sooner or faster they will reach him. That argument is very far. Krishna favors everyone who is trying to approach him, or all of the person. He knows that who are sincerely approaching him, and he cares about them. If something happens in their life, then he cares about. Like he tries to get that thing out of his path so he can practice bhakti and come back home, back to God. So that is my point. Nitin, if you have something to add.
Unmute yourself.
Just like we see Dhruv Maharaj, he was dependent on the Lord, and he accepted the Narad Muni, and he did the austerity, so he achieved the Lord. On the other hand, we see like yogis, they also meditate for many thousands of years, and they do very tapasya, but they don't get favor by the Lord. So this was one point I like. Another thing, like Arun Prabhu was saying, that we have to qualify ourselves to get the mercy of the Lord. Means we have to become humble, and other thing he was telling that. So how then it's non-partial, because we have to if somebody is a rich king, and so like Prataparudra Maharaj, he was very rich, so he has to become humble and to get the mercy of the Lord. Means even he is very qualified in the in his material circumstances. He has to make himself humble, and means very meaningless, or not meaningless, but very humble, or we have to develop that quality. Then only we can get the shelter of the Lord. That's all come to my mind.
To
Yes,
just
Arun.
like one concluding statement, like if you want to call Krishna spiritually partial, then that is also fine with us. But if you try to say that Krishna is impartial, then that is not possible, because all these examples clearly show, and even some of the examples which you are giving, it also shows that Krishna, although spiritually partial, but he has to be partial. That is fine.
Yes, Arun Prabhu, you are saying.
Okay. Yeah. Already we have Miss Harshad Prabhu was saying before some time that already Krishna says that Miss Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart. Okay. So at that time we see the example that Krishna means Paramatma, and living entities are like two birds. And till the time this living entity does not see towards the Paramatma or that bird, he does not interfere in him. So he is giving all kind of independence. And if you want independence from Krishna, then why do you want to come to his abode? That is one thing. That if you want whole independence, then Krishna is allowing you to remain independent in this material world. Means a living entity, if he wants to do all kind of nonsense throughout his lifetime, and at the end he want to achieve the highest goal, then how is it possible? First thing. Okay. And from that point of view, if you see that Krishna is giving all kind of independence, that whatever you want to do, you can do. I will not interfere in it. So he is giving independence to all the people. All the people, either they are devotee, non-devotee, or anyone, every living entity he is giving. And in the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we see, then while in his tour to South India, just he was chanting holy name of the Lord, and whoever was hearing the holy name of the Lord, just he was becoming into devotee, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving everyone the opportunity to come back to go back home, back to Godhead. That is by purifying themselves. And another example we see that just I have heard in lecture that suppose if there is a miscreant person, and whole lifetime he did nonsense, some kind of nonsense, and at the end he wants that I will call Narayan or I will call Krishna's name, and then I will go back home, back to Godhead. Then in Goloka Vrindavan, where Krishna resides, there a miscreant person, if here you are miscreant, if you are not purified your heart, then if you will go to the spiritual world, if a living entity goes into the spiritual world, then there also he will create nonsense. But there everyone is living lovingly and serving Lord. And so therefore you need to qualify, and this is not impartiality. Impartiality will be when there will be he will not give opportunity to everyone. And second thing is just like you said that a miscreant person or any kind of impersonalist or a person who is following other yoga process, they also want to go to the spiritual world, and why Krishna is not taking them to the spiritual world or to his abode. So the simple reason is then that Krishna has told Yanti Deva Vata Devan that whomever you will worship, you will go to them. Then if you know the process that मैं इनको पूजा करूंगा, or if I will worship him or this demigod, then I will go to him. It means you are choosing that where do you want to go. And if you are saying that I will do the process by which I can go to XYZ Loka, but after doing all that thing, and at the end I will go to the upper planet, then how is it possible? Because earlier only you knew that if you will follow this process, then you will go there. Then why did you choose that if you didn't want that? If you didn't want that, if you wanted to get there, then choose that path, because that path is open to all, given to all. So I don't think, or just I would like to put the point that you knew the path. Where do you want to go, and how can you go? If you know the process, and if you know the sadhana, and if you know the sadhya, so where do you want to go? Yeah, just you do that sadhana. And if you are doing a particular sadhana and you know the result, then you cannot ask. You do if you don't have the right to ask that I want to go there. So this is a very simple point to understand, that if you know the path, then follow that. You don't need to do something else and want something else. If you are doing the study for engineering, you cannot say after 4 years, okay, give me patients. You cannot say to by going after going into a government hospital, okay, I have done engineering, now I can treat patients. No, it cannot happen. Whatever you have done, you will get that. And this is not impartiality. This is not partiality. You are getting the opportunity, you know the process, and you can adopt that. And one more argument I would like to put, that of course, from this point, from this little way or next page of this argument, that as we see in Kunti Maharani prayer, like it is 1.8.11, I think, that Kunti Maharani prays, and then Srila Prabhupada writes in that purport, first line of the purport, that when a person becomes a devotee or like that, then Krishna empowers him, so that it is very important to empower. The reason is that if he will not empower, just like he empowered Srila Prabhupada, just imagine if he had not empowered Srila Prabhupada, then how then Srila Prabhupada must not have gone to America, and the hippies will not have been hippies just would not have been converted into happies. And then what, just till now we are seeing that now, today only Mohan Rupa Prabhuji was saying in the Bhagavatam lecture, that now today's Janmashtami is celebrated all over the world, and the people are becoming, and Janmashtami is one thing, but people are becoming in his life. So to make that order, Krishna sometimes empowers his devotee to bring the order in this material world only, and for our benefit only. So he is not impartial. So he is not partial there in that case, because he is empowering his devotee to, so that people who are non devotees, they may also remain happily, because they want to remain happy.
Uh, just
Prasad
for
Prabhu.
the all just was ringing. Can you hear my voice, Prabhuji?
Yes,
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Just 1 minute. So yeah,
A person who is an impersonalist or a materialist, he want to become happy in his life, but what will be the process? Because he is trying to become happy by material endeavors, and we know that by material endeavors one cannot become happy. So Krishna is empowering his devotees, so that he will bring peace. He will put the chaos in, shut down to the chaos which is in the material world, so that his non-devotees, or the non-devotees who are not the devotees, or who are following some different path, they will become happy, or they can remain peaceful in their life. That is one of the favor to the non-devotees only. Yeah.
Prasad Prabhu,
Can you hear?
I have to add some, that Yes Prabhuji said that about that if we have to approach God, then we have to approach through devotee only. But we can see in material life also there is need of guru. We cannot directly approach. Suppose we want some highest benefit, or we have to, if we want to go to IIT, then we have to clear one exam. There is process through which we have to go, and we have to approach their college teachers, and then only we will get benefit. And whatever we are speaking about, that we don't want to follow guru, actually we are not independent. If we see that we are not independent, even though in material life also, even though scientists also, before making some papers or research paper, they also consult or follow some senior scientists. And if someone says that I am not following someone, but practically in background he is following someone without which he is not making some opinions or this kinds of things. And if still some people says that I am not following anyone. Actually, they are following their mind only, which is contaminated. Just like water comes from uh, uh, waters comes down, then it becomes muddy and becomes contaminated. Similarly, our mind is contaminated, and whatever we will take decision, it will be not good for us, not perfection. It will not perfection. So that Krishna is telling that you approach a person who is that shloka comes na ki what is that shloka?
Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya.
Shanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshina. That last point is very important because he have realized the truth, so that he will give that knowledge to you. Similarly,
Harshad Prabhu, the point is that I will approach the pure devotee of the Lord, and thus I will gain the Lord's favor. That's exactly the point. Okay, we are getting some noise in the back. Okay. So one who has approached the real Guru, genuine Guru, so he will be the person who should get the mercy of the Lord, who gets the mercy of the Lord, and not anybody other than he who approaches a bona fide Guru, right? So then that is partiality, na? One who is in real parampara, he gets the mercy. One who is not in parampara does not get the mercy. But here I would like to make a point. Yes, you can say your point first.
I was making the point that why it is not impartial to approach specific guru, because in our life also we can see that we share only things about us to specific friend, not that goes to tell everyone our secrets or who we are actually. If someone want to know that, he must approach the person who is or who is friend of me, like that. So similarly, one who is to Lord, they can only, otherwise you can approach to Nirakarvadi also. There is Krishna is not telling that that option is there. So you can opt and you by your you can go to other options also, but you will not get the benefit. So that Krishna is clearly boldly telling that please approach to this guru. So it's not actually partiality, but actually it's beneficial for you, because after otherwise you will rot in the material world and you will not come to the end conclusion. So that's why he is telling another point. I would he said that about E Bar Karuna Karo Vaishnava Gosai. In that Vaishnava song, Prabhuji was telling that Krishna says that if someone hurts me or someone did offense against me, then I will tolerate it. But if devotee does, then I will not tolerate. So we can see it's natural. It's not a partiality, because just like in Corona pandemic, we can see that if someone is dying by corona, so government is not giving some 5 lakh 10 lakh or 50 lakh or 1 crore rupees to his family. But suppose if a doctor is dying or the patient or any person in the medical or that hospital is dying, then Delhi government have given 1 crore rupees to that family. Why? Because they are actually fulfilling the purpose of the government, and they are helping government to uh, to to uh, to cure the persons who are loitering in this world, or who are mischievous, or who are being affected by corona. So similarly Krishna is telling that I will tolerate, but whoever is offending my devotee, I will not tolerate that. And we can see that Krishna is so humble, so humble, that even though he's means he is ready to be a sarthi or a driver of the devotee, so he is ready.
So he is ready to become servant of his devotee. So to Duryodhan, he said, "No, I'll not join you." He did not go to Duryodhana's place, but went to Vidura's place to eat the banana peel. Yeah. But the point here is, when we say, okay, if you are in a bona fide parampara, if you follow a bona fide guru, unless we take shelter of the pure devotee, will not be able to go back to Godhead. As you know, Prabhupada said that, you catch my dhoti, I will take you to the spiritual world. But no, it does not happen like that. We see in the life of Advaita Acharya, he had 6 sons. 3 of his sons were pure devotees, and 3 sons, you know what they became? Anybody? So 3 of them became pure devotees. They were great acharyas, and 3 became Mayavadis. Whose son? Advaita Acharya. So if somebody claims that no, because I am son of Advaita Acharya, I must go back to Godhead. So that's not a valid claim. Because I am connected to somebody in some way, I should be considered as pure devotee. No, that does not go that way. One has to. There in Chaitanya Charitamrita it says that one who follows the instruction, he is having the potency. One who does not follow the instruction, he becomes asar, he becomes useless. So, in trying to get the mercy of the Lord, we can't deny the importance of having a genuine approach, a genuine heart to take shelter. So, only those who are genuine in their approach will get the mercy of the Lord. That Brahmana who was accompanying Raghunath Bhatta Goswami when he was touring to Jagannath Puri, so he was serving Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. He was chanting Ram's name throughout, Ram Das, and everybody was thinking he is such a great person, serving great souls and taking Ram's name. But when he came to Puri, Mahaprabhu did not look at him. Why? Because his inner desire was to merge with the Lord, to become God. So here we see, it's not that you serve the pure devotee and you will get the ticket to Godhead. Your intent also matters. So, what is the way it will be calculated? That is up to the Lord. Whether the Lord wants to bestow us causeless mercy or not, that's up to Him. But we can't deny the role of our sincerity, our genuineness. So, Lord in that way is not partial. Anybody who will show his sincerity, He will give His mercy. But anybody who has, no matter whom he is connected with, Ramchandra Puri was connected with, Madhvendra Puri. And one Sanodia Brahman was also connected to Madhvendra Puri. When Mahaprabhu went to Mathura, I guess, he took meals at the house of this Brahmana, who was not very high caste Brahmana. But because Madhvendra Puri had taken meal at his place, Madhvendra Puri had initiated him, so then he is qualified. But not this Ramchandra Puri, because he may be very big disciple, but then he rejects to follow Guru, so he does not get the mercy. So it's not mere our connection with the Lord or His devotees that will give us grace, but also our sincerity. So in that way, whoever exhibits that sincerity, Lord is impartial. And this point that, God has to be only partial and not impartial. If one says that God is impartial, then he is an impersonalist. No, that does not go that way. Bhagavatam, there is a discussion where Yudhishthira Maharaj and Narad Muni, they are discussing, whether God is partial or not partial. And both ways are true, because Krishna is absolute. Absolute means all the polarities, all the inconsistencies, they resolve in Krishna. So Lord Shri Krishna is simultaneously impartial but partial to those who surrender to him. So he is both, and he perfectly exhibits both. And that is the greatness of the Lord. And one who serves the Lord, one who devotes himself to the Lord, also becomes the inheritor of this great quality. So with this, we would like to thank both the teams to very, very enthusiastically contributing such wonderful points. Really, I relished the debate very much. It was high class. So thank you all for joining us in this debate, and wish you happy Janmashtami again. And we pray for each other that we be able to chant the holy name nicely and be able to remember the lordships and immerse ourselves in Krishna Katha more and more. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhyavata patitanam pavanebhyo
Vishnu.
नमो नमः
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय।
वैष्णव ठाकुर शिला प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय।
जन्माष्टमी महामहोत्सव की जय।
जय।
निताय गौर प्रेमानंद।
हरि हरि बोल।
Thank you.